For most of us, the very first impulse of the day happens before our eyes are even fully open. We reach through the dark, grab our phones, and immediately flood our brains with notifications and messages. When we start our mornings this way, we surrender our focus to whatever the screen demands. The days start to blur together, driven by digital reactions rather than our own deliberate choices. Behavioral psychology shows us that breaking out of an entrenched routine requires friction. The brain won't accept that friction without an immediate, tangible incentive to make the effort worthwhile. Without building our own personal incentives, our daily habits remain tethered to external demands. We spend our energy reacting to everyone else's priorities, which often leaves us feeling depleted and adrift. Reclaiming that agency starts with a micro-reward, a specific, personal payout for taking control of your time. This could be as simple as a 30-minute morning yoga flow. You decide that only after you finish that movement do you earn the privilege of checking your phone. When a distinct physical action reliably triggers a self-granted reward, the brain logs the transaction. It begins to crave the initial effort, specifically to reach that sense of completion. A dopamine loop is effective for sparking a new habit today. But if you're repeating the same routine for years, how do you prevent that sequence from eventually feeling hollow? A behavioral trick gets you off the couch. But to keep that fire burning through an entire lifetime, you need a much deeper source of fuel. In yoga, the final resting pose is shavasana, a moment of total stillness when you absorb the work you just finished. In these quiet moments, we can practice a different way of seeing, actively choosing to love this life by confronting its strict boundaries. This means thinking about mortality. Instead of treating it as an anxiety to ignore, we can use it as a high-contrast filter to evaluate how we are spending our mornings. Acknowledging that our timeline is finite strips away the illusion of infinite tomorrows. It assigns immediate weight to the habits we choose to practice today. An average 80-year human lifespan consists of roughly 4,000 weeks. As the squares fill in to represent the time we've already lived, the abstract idea of a lifetime becomes a hard, undeniable number. Watching those weeks disappear removes the luxury of someday. It forces your attention onto the active week you are in right now, changing how you value your present moment. Far from paralyzing us, this awareness acts as a catalyst. The macro reality of our limited time folds into that daily cycle of effort and reward. A 30-minute morning stretch moves from a checklist item to a deliberate act of savoring a rare gift. Mortality turns a fleeting daily routine into an intentional way to spend a limited resource. Even with a strong personal philosophy, there is a limit to how far you can travel alone. An internal fire kept entirely private eventually runs low on oxygen. Humans are social creatures. Without external reinforcement to validate our efforts, our internal momentum naturally begins to fade. This is why it is necessary to celebrate your progress alongside a wider community. No matter how strong your personal motivation might be, isolation puts a cap on how long a habit can survive. Sharing a personal win in a dedicated forum acts as a multiplier. The surrounding community processes that success and pulses back, amplifying the original effort. When people cheer each other on, the isolated spark of individual movement becomes a permanent fixture in our lives. Sustainability emerges when daily micro-rewards are anchored to the reality of finite time and then reinforced by the witness of others. A purpose-driven life is built by connecting our simplest daily actions to our limited time and then sharing that resulting joy with the world.